What is up, Internet? I'm Sean. This is Zach, back on the bucket set again for yet another S-tier ranking. But, Zach, Halloween's coming up. It's getting real spooky season.
Spooky season, indeed.
And
Scary hours.
Scary hours, indeed. And we figured, why not break down and rank the scariest NBA lineups of all time?
I love it.
These are the scariest starting fives.
To clarify for those watching, not scary as in they're terrible. Like, we will mix some of those in.
Yeah.
But scary as in these people were dogs. Some of the scariest lineups ever.
You pull up the box score, you see this 5 coming at you, and you're like, well, we're probably going to lose by 20 today. Yeah,
100%.
We got the 87-88 Los Angeles Lakers.
All right, give me the 5.
This team had Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, James Worthy, AC Green, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I think
Kareem and Magic and Worthy. You know, that's your core right there.
which is a very nice big three.
Yeah.
Very, very nice big three. Big game James, man. He doesn't get the respect he deserves now, but we're going to put them A tier just to start.
Just to start.
A part of me wanted to put them B tier because I feel like there are going to be a lot scarier lineups, but Byron drags them down here, even though he was averaging,
21
that year?
Lakers are the best team of all time.
Oh, you think they're better than the Bulls?
Yes.
Better than the Showtime Lakers?
Maximum. 87 that's Showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Matt. Yeah. Worthy. A tier. He's sticking with it.
A tier.
He saw what John said, and he said, nope,
No,
I'm sticking A tier.
Staying A tier because I already kind of know who is in the S tier for me.
Okay.
I know they would have beaten this roster. AC isn't good enough. Byron, though, he was averaging 21, 4 and 4.
That's a pretty nice team. We'll see if this changes. Okay, now we're moving on. We're going to have a lot of these old white Celtics teams on here. This is the 85-86 Celtics. Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale. It doesn't really scream scary to me.
B for me.
B tier. He
says
Ainge, Bird, Parrish, and he's like, nah.
There are a lot of guys that are going to get absolutely fried by the modern day teams. And I mean, if we're being real, like that Lakers team is way better than that.
Agreed. So if you're giving them a B, I'm cool with that other team, the Lakers before us, staying A.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a powerhouse here. 2017-2018 Golden State Warriors. The Hamptons 5. Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, Zaza.
Zaza's the 5?
Zaza's the 5 on this team. Yeah, Zaza played 5.
That hurts them. If we're being honest, that hurts them, right? Because, I mean, KD, it doesn't hurt them enough. KD, Draymond, Steph, Clay. I think that's S tier, folks.
This team scored 113 points per game compared to the Showtime Lakers 87-88 scored 112. So they're just better than them in terms of scoring.
Here's the problem. Break
this down, right? Like
3 points.
112 before
back then. No 3 lines.
Yeah.
For real.
You might have to adjust that.
All right, we're moving the Lakers back to S tier. S tier for the Lakers.
You're going to keep the Warriors.
And I'm keeping Warriors in S tier as well.
I agree. That team changed basketball and was the powerhouse championship team.
I remember watching teams get leads against them, and you'd blink and it would be gone. And all of a sudden the Warriors are up 15 on you, and you're like, where'd the game go?
Yeah.
Their 3-point shooting, it was so frustrating.
You had 3 people averaging over 20 points per game.
I'll be honest, what helped push it is seeing that points per game for the Lakers versus this Warriors team.
That's an S tier there.
Yeah.
They're actually spooky scary.
Yeah. 2 S tiers right now.
I mean, they beat that powerhouse Rockets team and they swept LeBron in that finals. Sweeping LeBron. Like, LeBron's not even getting a game off, you know? We're going to go to another old team only because we got to throw in this legend here. This is the 62-63 Boston Celtics. Bob Cousy, John Havlicek, Sam Jones, Tommy Heinsohn's racist ass, and Bill Russell. We got to throw a Bill Russell team on this list. Guy won more championships than anyone.
Yeah, but there's like 90 guys on this roster. You know what I mean? Like, look at the points per game.
I know.
So if they're averaging 118 points per game, that means there's a lot of bench work because no one on the roster had more than 20 a game.
You did have Bill Russell averaging 23 rebounds per game. Yikes.
Yeah, but like
he's going against scrubs.
Think Bob Cousy is gonna what is Steph Curry gonna do to Bob Cousy?
Absolutely cook him. Bill Russell's the only threat on that team that the Warriors can't stop, and they can send two guys on him, you know?
Yeah, and also, like, they're just going to be chucking threes. So every one layup, Bill Russell has to grind his way in and get. KD's going to hit 3 threes, and it's like, what's the point, my guy?
KD's going to hit a pull-up 3. They'll be like, how, you can do that?
Yeah.
You're allowed to do that?
Yeah. They're going to be like, we have a guy that's built like Bill Russell. Oh, except he's a demon and can handle the ball.
You up, yeah.
You're not. You're just going to get rinsed by him. No shot. This team, for me, because Bob Cousy, C tier. Like, C tier.
One for us. That's a win
One
for us.
for the people, yeah.
We got a team I know you're very fond of, the 2000-2001 Lakers team with Derek Fisher, Kobe Bryant, Rick Fox, Horace Grant, and Shaquille O'Neal.
So for me, and this is going to probably upset people within Los Angeles, like this was a disgusting team. And Fish looked really good then. Yeah. But even then, that line isn't that impressive.
It's just
4, and 3.
But the madness of Kobe and Shaq both averaging 28 points that season is you can't stop that.
No.
Is that A tier? Is that gonna get an S tier nod?
Dude, I was leaning like B tier with this team, but I'm gonna go A tier.
Okay.
Because it's just the Kobe Shaq dynamic was so frightening.
Nuts.
But they had their weaknesses. Like they really were on the ropes. Like there were teams that could get them on the ropes, but yeah, they'll be A tier.
We're going to go with this team. We did the other Warriors, right? The Hamptons, super powerhouse. But the Warriors that actually, before KD got there, they won 73 games, which is the 15-16 Warriors. Steph, Clay, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, Andrew Bogut.
God, but Harrison Barnes was such a liability on that team. And they won their title beating a very broken Cavs team, which isn't to take away. They did win that many games in a year.
I think on paper the Hamptons 5 beats this team. Oh, obviously,
without a doubt. You upgraded Harrison Barnes to KD,
and I think they had the world in shock, and like teams didn't know how to prepare against.
And no one knew how to cover the 3 like
exactly.
that. I think it's B tier.
B tier. Whoa.
Here's my reasoning. Clay and Steph still were like ascending to their prime.
Yeah.
Did Steph win MVP that year? Probably.
Yeah.
So he's entering his prime. But for me, Harrison Barnes is not good. And not like he's a very talented NBA player, but in the greater spectrum of these other teams, that's the dude whose lunch money I'm going to steal. You know what I mean? Like, you're not afraid of that guy. And
that's where a lot of these teams didn't really have a
metaphorically, Harrison Barnes would beat my ass.
He would cook you.
Let me make that very clear. But I mean, metaphorically speaking, that's the guy you can go after.
This is another GOAT-level team, the 96-97 Chicago Bulls. Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Luke Longley. This team was just back in the news after the Last Dance. You saw their dominance. This team won the league leading up until the Warriors beat it 72 games.
I think this is an S-tier team.
I
think that winning that many games, they were frightening. I mean, you have prime Pippen, prime MJ.
Prime Rodman, in rebounds. And you had Phil's peak, right? You had peak like Zen master.
True.
I know how to control a locker room and control it on the court. Like,
absolutely.
They can go against any team. I think they can match up against really any
Modern
team.
especially.
Yeah. The 02-03 San Antonio Spurs. Tony Parker, Steven Jackson, Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. This to me is like each person fits their role perfectly. In the starting 5.
In that, David Robinson, Hall of Famer. Tim Duncan, Hall of Famer.
Tim Duncan in truly rising to the meteoric prime of the best power forward of all time. David Robinson solidified as the greatest center, or one of the greatest centers of that generation. Bruce Bowen locks up anyone.
True.
You had the energy of Stack, like a young Stack who was like a dog. And then Tony, like, this might be like second or third year Tony Parker. This team is nuts, man. Like,
I pitched this idea not knowing how
I know
this would be.
Duncan brought in the MVP. They won 60 games. Similar to that Celtics team, they held teams to 90 points per game. Insane to think about that this was a defense team, and you have Duncan and Robinson who could back you down.
How many teams would we realistically be respectfully putting in the A tier? Like, what is the number? Like, we can't have, and not everyone can be A tier.
Not everyone could be A, but like we could have a lot. I mean, we could have a lot in A. Not everyone could be S.
No doubt.
At
No
minimum-
doubt.
at
I'm
minimum
trying to
an
think
A
someone
tier.
needs to get kicked down.
It's
We'll
tough
review it. I'm going to go A tier for now.
for now.
The only caveats is that like there are teams in there with the A tier that like at that point Stack wasn't the scorer he would become, and that Bowen can't score but would defend you, and that Tony Parker his prime would come like 2 years later. So that's where like maybe if we're gonna move them, but for right now we'll put them A. But they're on the bubble.
Like
They're on bubble watch,
this team scares me, right? Like I see this team on paper and it scares me, which is why I love this
the
list.
David Robinson, Tim Duncan combo.
Nuts.
Oh my
Absolutely
goodness.
nuts. We got the 2012-2013 Miami Heat right now. Mario Chalmers, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Udonis Haslem, Chris Bosh. Here's the thing is like obviously like Haslem was just the glue guy at that point, and Mario Chalmers just got yelled at. But this is like angry Bron. This is like Zero Dark 30 Bron. I'm coming for everyone's throat. And part of me is like, that's enough. And then you have Wade and Bosh. You know, like this team is terrifying.
This is an S tier team for me. Yeah. Because here's the thing. That LeBron is
can't
like
be stopped.
I always have said we need a Star Wars movie of like Vader in his prime. And people have been like, well, actually, if you look at the movies, he was in his prime. It's like, okay, but I need to see him violencing people in his prime.
Like the end of Rogue One.
Yes,
that's LeBron.
Throwing people
literally.
over the walls and LeBron jumped over a man to alley-oop to catch an alley-oop.
And he killed Jason Terry that season. Like that's the Wade alley-oop season. Like Dwayne would throw the ball up at like 10 feet over the backboard and LeBron would catch it. And I'd be like, what is going on?
That team was breathtaking.
Spooky scary.
Yeah.
In the season right before this team, though, we had that Thunder team, the Thunder team. Russ, Thabo, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, Kendrick Perkins. We put James Harden there because he was the sixth man on that team, and he played more minutes than Thabo. This team was nice. So
subbing out Thabo for Harden.
Right. Like you do it from the starting lineup. Thabo played a lot of minutes, was the defensive stopper, but it was Harden. It was Harden, right? That whole team was Harden.
Is that one of the best teams to ever lose to ever not win a ring?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
KD, Ibaka in his prime, Perk still good,
and Russ who made jumpers,
and Russ, and then Harden.
Yeah,
which is frightening. That's a B tier. It's a really scary lineup, but I think it becomes scarier knowing like what we knew Harden would become. But that version of Harden, though good, wasn't what it is now.
Yeah,
and even Russ wasn't quite there yet. I mean, we studied that picture of him like looking at the MVP trophy, and then he pedaled down. And you've got Perk kind of on the back nine at that point.
Perk's been on a lot of good teams,
but Ibaka was nasty.
Yeah, Ibaka was nasty. This is a fun team. B tier's fair.
Yeah.
That OKC team was better than the Mavericks team they lost to the year before.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is crazy.
And it was just because of Dirk. So we got props to Dirk, who beat probably the better
Sean
team.
Stevenson is not getting on this list.
No. Jason Kidd on the Mavs is not getting on this list. We got a fun one here, and I just want to throw this team on the list because I love this team, and I grew up loving this team. The 04-05 7-second Suns. Steve Nash, Quentin Richardson, Joe Johnson, Sean Marion, and Amari Stoudemire. This team would run you out of the gym out of just cardio. This team revolutionized basketball, you know?
Such a fun roster. So you have Steve Nash, who's just...
And this is his back. This is in the midst of his back-to-back MVP season. This was his first MVP season.
One of those should have been Kobe's, but that's fine.
Okay.
But
D'Antoni, all offense, 114.5 offensive rating.
Oh my
sheesh.
God. Amari, just a casual 26 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 1 assist per game.
And this was like Amari destroying the rim. Amari, like every dunk was like breaking a rim.
And they didn't even make the finals.
Right. And you had Joe Johnson who could get a bucket against
anyone. Joe Johnson was very good.
And then you had Sean Marion who was the ideal prototypical for today's game of like doing it all, not the tallest, not the biggest.
I think that's an A tier roster.
I agree.
Especially learning what we learned like with how good Joe Johnson was. Like we knew he was good on that team, but Steve Nash, I mean like
I think this team would have some trouble defensively, but they can score against any team. Yeah. They would never have a trouble scoring.
No.
Now it's time for some of the worst teams ever assembled. And we don't want to overdo this. We don't want to like shit on franchises too much.
Oh,
but I think there's just some fun ones that we can automatically throw into F tier and be like, how did this team get assembled?
Yeah.
So we have the 2007 Cavaliers. This is the team LeBron brought to the finals, and it's still
This
to
is
this day,
this
to
should
this
boggle
day.
your mind. If you're a like LeBron sucks person, this alone is the alone piece of evidence I need to tell you that LeBron is the GOAT, if not GOAT tied.
He dragged with him in that finals Eric Snow, Larry Hughes, Drew Gooden, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
To the finals.
To the finals. Drag them.
That's such a bad team.
A truly bad. You got to feel for LeBron those years where he was like, I'm still here, and I'm like, this is
charity
this
case
is
for
I
someone
think
like Drew Gooden.
right. And these are
Eric
the
Snow.
teams where I think he had those buzzer beaters in the Eastern Conference playoffs
Yeah.
to like just sneak by the Magic, just sneak by the Pistons, and he made it.
Good Lord. I mean, what a testament to LeBron. Yeah, but F tier.
I have
That
not.
might be F minus.
Yeah. 98-99 Los Angeles Clippers. Sherman Douglas, Tyrone Nesby, Eric Piakowski, Maurice Taylor, and Michael Olowokandi.
Poor Candyman.
How
man.
many of these players do you know?
I know the Candyman,
And that's it.
Sherman Douglas sounds like a history teacher.
Tyrone Nesby sounds. This guy sounds like
Tyron
he just
Nesby sounds
hangs
like a
around
Final
town.
Fantasy character.
But insanely brutal team.
How many games did that team win?
I don't even know. Let's see. Let's see how fun this can be.
This is a Z tier. We've never done Z tier.
This team, oh god, they went 9-41.
Oh, is it a lockout year?
Lockout year.
9-41. Oh my god.
Yeah, this team is yikes and a half. Elgin Baylor was the exec. No wonder he's not execing a team anymore.
Sorry, Elgin.
I think your S tier is exactly correct. There's only 3 teams that deserve it.
Showtime.
Yep.
Warriors. The like KD Warriors.
Yeah.
And then the Bulls.
Yeah.
You gave Ron S tier. 2006.
Oh, you did give the Heatles.
Oh, and then here,
the Heatles.
Heat, yeah.
The Heatles.
Yeah, I'm
I
good
think
with that.
I think that might get some
That'll
comments.
upset
But
people.
look, like, subscribe, comment below. Tell us where we went wrong. Tell us where we went right. This was a fun one.
This is
probably the hardest one we've done.
Yeah, for sure.
We have a full playlist of S tier videos. Look, we're gonna be doing these all season long. So suggest more things that we can S tier in the comments. But look,
This
we'll
is
be here.
good.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Let us know. Let us know who we forgot, where they would be on the list, and who we f***ed up.
Yeah.
You're wrong, but who we f***ed up.
You're watching Buckets.